What if the smartest financial move you ever make is the one you never talk about? Most people are one conversation away from destroying their entire retirement plan, and they don't even know it. Today, I'm going to show you exactly why retiring in silence isn't just a mindset. It's the most powerful wealth protection strategy that the financially free already use, and the broke never figure out. Segment 1. The dangerous illusion of sharing your plans. Let's start with something that nobody in the personal finance world wants to say out loud, but somebody has to. We live in a culture that celebrates sharing. Share your goals, speak your dreams into existence, post your wins, go loud on social media. And look, there's nothing wrong with ambition. But when it comes to your retirement plans, your savings, your investment strategy, or your financial independence timeline, sharing is not caring. Sharing is actually one of the most financially dangerous things you can do. Here's why. The moment you tell someone, a friend, a family member, a coworker, even someone you trust deeply, that you are planning to retire early, or that you have been quietly building wealth, or that you have a financial exit plan in place, you have just handed them a weapon. Not intentionally, not because they are bad people, but because human psychology is wired in a way that most of us refuse to accept. There is a well-documented psychological phenomenon called social comparison theory, first introduced by psychologist Leon Festinger in 1954. It states that human beings constantly evaluate their own worth, success, and progress by comparing themselves to others around them. This is not a choice, it is instinct. And the moment your financial success enters someone else's awareness, their brain begins running that comparison automatically, whether they want it to or not. And here is where it gets dangerous for you. When the comparison doesn't favor them, when your retirement plan makes their financial situation look stagnant by comparison, the response is rarely admiration. More often, the response is subtle sabotage. It doesn't look like sabotage on the surface. It looks like concern. It sounds like advice. Segment 2. The many faces of subtle sabotage. It sounds like, are you sure that's realistic? It sounds like, I just don't want to see you get hurt. It sounds like, have you really thought this through? And if you are not mentally strong enough, if you are not deeply rooted in your own plan, those words will plant seeds of doubt that grow into full trees of hesitation. You will start second-guessing a strategy that was working. You will slow down on a path that was leading somewhere incredible. You will abandon a plan that could have changed your entire life, not because the plan was wrong, but because someone else's insecurity dressed itself up as concern and walked right into your confidence. This is not a theory. This is not pessimism. This is the lived reality of thousands of people who came close to financial freedom and then quietly fell back into the cycle because they talked too soon, trusted too openly, and gave other people's opinions more weight than their own results. Now let's talk about something even more uncomfortable: family. Because when we say tell no one, most people immediately think of coworkers or acquaintances. But the truth is, the people closest to you carry the highest risk. Not because they don't love you. They probably do. But love and financial boundaries are two completely different things, and in most families, those boundaries don't exist. The moment a family member finds out you have been saving aggressively, investing consistently, or building toward early retirement, the dynamic shifts. Suddenly, there are emergencies that need your money. Suddenly, there are opportunities that only you can fund. Suddenly, there are guilt trips wrapped in the language of loyalty. We are family. We help each other. And you, being the person you are, feel the pull. Because you love them. Because you were raised to show up. Because saying no feels like a betrayal. But here is the truth that nobody puts in a family WhatsApp group. Every rupee or dollar you give away under emotional pressure is a direct withdrawal from your future freedom. Every time you fund someone else's emergency because they knew you had the money, you are pushing your own retirement date further away. You are not being generous. You are being financially manipulated by people who may not even realize they are doing it. And the only way to protect yourself from this pattern is to remove the trigger entirely. If they don't know, they can't ask. If they can't ask, you don't have to say no. And if you don't have to say no, the relationship stays intact and your wealth keeps growing. Segment 3. The psychology of money in silence. Now let's go even deeper. Because this conversation is not just about protecting yourself from other people. It's about understanding the deep psychological relationship between silence and wealth accumulation. And once you understand this, You will never look at loud financial behavior the same way again. Have you ever noticed something about the wealthiest people you know? Or the wealthiest people you have ever read about? Not the ones who appear wealthy. Not the ones with the flashy cars and the designer outfits and the Instagram lifestyle. I mean the ones who are genuinely, quietly, generationally wealthy. The ones whose net worth would absolutely shock you if you ever found out. Have you noticed that they are almost always quiet? They don't announce their investments. They don't post their portfolio gains. They don't tell you they are about to retire. They don't even let on that they have options. They just move in silence. And then one day, you find out they haven't worked in 6 years, own 3 properties, and have a dividend income that covers every single expense they will ever have. And you are standing there wondering, when did this happen? How did I not know? It happened in the silence. That's exactly when it happened. There is a concept in behavioral finance called lifestyle creep, and silence is one of the most powerful weapons against it. Lifestyle creep is the gradual increase in spending that happens as your income grows. And one of the biggest accelerators of lifestyle creep is social visibility. The moment people around you know you are doing well financially, there is an unspoken social pressure to look the part, to upgrade your car, to move to a bigger house, to take more expensive vacations, to dress at a level that matches your new financial status. Because if people know you have money and you are not spending it visibly, they start asking questions. They start making comments. You can afford it. Why are you being so cheap? You only live once. And slowly, without even realizing it, you start spending to manage other people's perception of you. You start leaking wealth through your lifestyle because your lifestyle became a public performance. But when nobody knows, there is no performance required. You can drive the same car, live in the same house, wear the same clothes, and stack silently while the world assumes you are just getting by. That invisibility is not a limitation. It is your greatest financial asset. The wealthy figured this out generations ago. Old money doesn't talk. Old money doesn't post. Old money doesn't explain itself to anyone. Because old money understands something that new money always has to learn the hard way. The loudest person in the room is almost never the richest one. Segment 4. What happens when you go public too soon? Let me paint you a picture. Imagine you have been quietly saving for 3 years. You have cut expenses, increased income, invested consistently, and you are finally seeing real momentum. Your portfolio is growing. Your debt is shrinking. Your retirement timeline is becoming real. You are excited, naturally. So you tell a close friend. Maybe you post something subtle on social media. Maybe you mention it at a family dinner. And within weeks, everything shifts. Your friend starts borrowing money. Your family starts expecting financial support. Your coworkers start treating you differently. Some with jealousy, some with resentment, some with fake closeness that only appears when they need something. And the worst part? You start feeling the pressure to prove your success visibly. New clothes, better phone, nicer car. Because now people are watching. Now there is an image to maintain. And just like that, 3 years of silent discipline gets undone by 3 weeks of public attention. This is not a rare story. This happens every single day to people who were genuinely close to financial freedom. They talk too soon. They celebrate too loudly. And the environment around them quietly pulls them back to zero. The market doesn't care about your announcement. Your investment account doesn't grow faster because you told people about it. Silence costs you nothing. Talking can cost you everything. So the question is not whether you should share your retirement plans. The real question is, what exactly do you gain by sharing? And when you sit with that question honestly, the answer is almost always nothing. Segment 5. How to actually retire in silence. So now that we understand the why, let's talk about the how. Because retiring in silence is not just about keeping your mouth shut. It is a complete lifestyle strategy that requires intention, discipline, and a very specific mindset shift. Step 1. Stop performing wealth online. Social media is the single biggest enemy of silent wealth building. Every time you post a financial win, a new investment, or a retirement milestone, you are handing the algorithm your privacy and handing your social circle a reason to either judge you or approach you with their handout. Keep your financial life completely off social media. No exceptions. Step 2. Create a financial inner circle of one. That means you. Only you know the full picture of your finances. You can have an accountant, a financial advisor, a trusted spouse. But even then, information should be shared on a need-to-know basis. The fewer people who hold the map to your wealth, the fewer people who can redirect your journey. Step 3. Let people assume wrong. This sounds uncomfortable, but it is incredibly powerful. Let people think you are struggling. Let them think you are just getting by. Let them underestimate you completely. Because while they are forming opinions based on zero information, you are compounding silently in the background. Their assumption is your protection. Step 4. Celebrate privately. Hit a savings goal. Celebrate alone or with your spouse. Reached a net worth milestone? Write it in your journal. Quiet celebration is still celebration. It just doesn't come with consequences. Segment 6. The life waiting on the other side of silence. Here is what most personal finance channels will never tell you. Retiring in silence is not just a financial strategy. It is an act of radical self-respect. It is you finally deciding that your future matters more than other people's opinions. It is you choosing freedom over validation. It is you understanding that the most important financial journey you will ever take is one that nobody else needs to witness, approve, or understand. Because here is the beautiful truth. The goal was never to impress anyone. The goal was always freedom. Freedom to wake up without an alarm. Freedom to spend your time on what actually matters. Freedom to say no to work that drains you and yes to life that fulfills you. Freedom to exist on your own terms, completely unbothered by financial pressure or social expectation. And that freedom has one non-negotiable requirement: protection. You have to protect your plan from doubt. You have to protect your savings from emotional pressure. You have to protect your timeline from other people's insecurities. And the most effective way to protect all of it is to simply say nothing. The people who retire early are not always the highest earners. They are not always the most talented or the most educated, but they are almost always the most disciplined and the most private. They decided at some point that their peace was worth more than being understood, that their financial independence was worth more than a moment of social validation. So let this be your turning point. Start today, not with a loud announcement, not with a post, not with a conversation, just with a quiet, firm, unshakable decision. That from this moment forward, you build in silence and let the results speak when the time is right. Because the most powerful retirement statement you will ever make is not something you say. It is the life you are living while everyone else is still wondering what you have been up to. Clapperboard outro line. If this video made you think differently about your financial future, share it with someone who needs to hear it. And if you are serious about building real wealth quietly, subscribe, because we are just getting started.